War is often imagined as a clash of steel and fire, but for many soldiers in World War II, the deadliest enemy was the cold. On the Eastern Front, in the Ardennes and the Italian mountains, winter struck with brutal force. Temperatures dropped so low that survival itself became a daily battle. Soldiers were far from heated barracks, exposed in foxholes and forests, with only basic wool, cotton and canvas gear. Modern insulation didn't exist. Their materials soaked up moisture and lost warmth fast. The fight was not just against the enemy, but against nature's harshest laws. Victory often meant simply surviving the night. These soldiers learned to adapt, relying on knowledge and ingenuity over equipment. Their methods, born of necessity, still teach us how to endure the cold today. The real weapon wasn't what they carried, but what they knew, how to stay warm, dry, and alive. Their legacy is a blueprint for resilience in the face of winter's icy grip. Soldiers were issued sleeping bags, but these were heavy, bulky, and filled with materials like wool or feathers that absorb moisture. In wet, snowy conditions, these bags quickly became soaked, losing all insulating power and even drawing heat away from the body. A wet sleeping bag was worse than useless. It was a dangerous liability. Many soldiers abandoned them, realizing lighter packs and smarter sleeping systems were safer. This forced them to innovate, relying on fundamental principles rather than faulty gear. They became resourceful, using whatever materials they could find to stay warm. Survival depended on adaptability and shared wisdom, not on what the quartermaster provided. The bitter cold taught them to trust their own ingenuity over issued equipment. Without reliable sleeping bags, soldiers turned to layering their clothing, a principle still vital today. Multiple thin layers trapped air, creating insulation far superior to a single thick garment. Wool-based layers, uniform shirts, and heavy greatcoats formed a personal cocoon of warmth. The system was adaptable. Layers could be added or removed to regulate temperature and prevent sweat. Soldiers stuffed extra materials, blankets, cloth, even newspapers, inside their coats for more insulation. Curling up tightly, they minimized exposed surface area and reduced the air their bodies needed to heat. This self-contained system required no special gear, just knowledge and resourcefulness. Layering gave them control over their own microclimate, a crucial edge in the fight against the cold. The lesson: use what you have and use it wisely. Staying warm meant more than shielding from cold air. It required insulation from the frozen ground. The earth pulled heat away relentlessly, making direct contact deadly. Soldiers gathered pine boughs, leaves, straw, or even cardboard to create thick, air-filled beds. A deep layer, 6 to 8 inches, was essential to prevent compression and maintain insulation. Preparing this ground bed was the first priority, even when exhausted. The effort paid off in conserved body heat and survival through the night. Today's sleeping pads serve the same purpose, but WWII soldiers built theirs from scratch. The principle mattered more than the product: get off the ground, or lose the battle to the cold. Ingenuity and understanding turned deadly earth into a survivable resting place. Ground insulation remains a core survival lesson. Moisture was the enemy. Water conducts heat away from the body far faster than air. Getting wet from rain, snow, or sweat could quickly lead to hypothermia. Soldiers brushed snow off before entering shelter and used ponchos or shelter halves to block moisture. Wool uniforms lost warmth when wet, so keeping outer layers dry was essential. Sweat was just as dangerous. Soldiers removed layers before exertion to avoid soaking their clothes. After activity, they'd quickly put layers back on to trap heat. Dry socks were treasured, often kept close to the body to dry overnight. Every action was guided by the rule stay dry at all costs. Moisture management was a constant conscious effort. This battle against dampness was as critical as any fought with weapons. In the cold, there was strength in numbers. Huddling together was a lifesaver. Soldiers lay side by side, pooling blankets and shelter halves to create shared warmth. Rotating positions ensured everyone benefited from the group's heat. Even alone, curling into a fetal position minimized exposed skin and trapped heat. Protecting the head, neck and extremities was vital. Hats and scarves made a big difference. Group huddling turned isolated individuals into a collective heating unit. This required trust and teamwork, reinforcing the camaraderie of the front. Shared warmth brought comfort and the will to survive the night. Sometimes the best survival tool was another human being. Interdependence was key to enduring the cold. The shelter half, a simple piece of waterproof canvas, was a soldier's multi-purpose tool. Alone, it served as a ground sheet or poncho. Combined, two made a pup tent for shared shelter. The tent blocked wind and rain, creating a pocket of still air and raising the temperature inside. Its small size made body heat more effective, and it was easy to set up anywhere. Beyond shelter, it lined foxholes, wrapped gear, or even served as a stretcher. The shelter half embodied WWII's survival, simple, durable, and endlessly adaptable. It symbolized teamwork, two soldiers joining resources for mutual protection. Not high-tech, but indispensable. The shelter half was the cornerstone of cold weather survival. The lessons of WWII soldiers remain vital for anyone facing the cold today. Modern gear is better, but knowledge is still your best asset. Layering, staying dry, insulating from the ground, and blocking wind are timeless principles. Synthetic base layers and insulated pads now do what wool and pine boughs once did. Avoid cotton and always prioritize ground insulation. Emergency blankets and simple shelters work on the same principles as the old pup tent. In a crisis, sharing body heat is still the most effective way to survive. These old secrets are a timeless guide to resilience in the cold.